Welcome! Welcome back to another video. Welcome back everybody to another all-wheel drive Miata video where we are putting a Subaru engine and drivetrain into a Miata. In the last video, we went ahead and started this tube front end by cutting the front off and making the main bottom bars and the main top bars. In this video, we are hopefully going to completely finish the tube front end and bolt the engine and the drivetrain into the front and test everything for the first time. We have a lot of bars to add, we have a lot of supports to add, we have a lot of welding to do, and we have to do the bottom mount for the lower control arm. Due to popular requests, we did get some upgrades for this video. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Huh, where did I put it? Where did they go? Yeah, about that. May or may not have lost those upgrades. Where did they go? This is awkward. Don't you hate when this happens? You just misplace something by leaving it somewhere in the open and you just can't find it. The upgrades, we have some real cutting fluid and we have a new hole saw. As all of you guys pointed out, using WD-40 as a cutting fluid doesn't exactly work. It helps, but it doesn't exactly work. So I got some real cutting fluid. It's just Ace brand, so who knows how real it is, but this should prevent us from going through a bunch of hole saws, because hole saws are expensive. Now, of course, this build is brought to you guys by carmarshal.com. Carmarshal.com can help you guys save a bunch of money on new or used vehicles. So if you are interested, please check them out in the description down below. Without any further ado, let's begin. I'm gonna be honest, I just thought that would be funny. I really didn't expect it to actually break this, but it did. That's unfortunate because this is actually good stuff. Huh. About to weld something in and you call me? Hello, Audrey. Women. Let's get back to work. The fact that I'm saying women makes me sound bad. I'm not actually being serious here. Just an FYI to everyone. So that's the main strut tower bars in place, just tacked in right now. There's going to be an additional bar that connects these two bars that kind of swoops up to meet flush with this top, and then a plate will be welded, and we'll make some plates it'll make sense and look good and be strong. Even though these bars are much shorter and they look a little bit easier to make, these were really difficult to get accurate. Problem is that this bottom tube is going in and up, as you can tell, while its top tube is going out and down right here and in and down right here, and just getting all those notches perfect while also getting the bend in the right place and the right degree so it looks the same, which it does, but that was difficult. And quite frankly, I didn't get it perfect. Some of the notches are a little off. You can tell there's a little bit of a gap there versus like this one, which is perfect. I need to add one more pipe right here on each side, do this pipe, and then we're gonna do the lower control armor stuff. You know, I hate this heater. Swear the heater has a microphone, and anytime it hears me talking, it turns on. But anyway, being a fabricator really increases your pain tolerance because you're constantly being pelted with either molten metal that's glowing red hot, or just really hot metal. Kind of sucks. I'm covered with little red burns from really everything. There are enough tubes, enough reinforcements, and enough welds on this front end that it should be able to support itself no problem. I mean, watch. I can kind of lift the car off the lift with just pulling it up, and nothing flexes besides the car raising on the lift. In order to make that lower mount, I want it in the air so I can work under it. So we're gonna lift it up, and we're gonna see it support itself. Hopefully, weight balance isn't too off. All right, we're good. Well, that's it. I've been here for 11 hours today. I'm gonna go home and go to bed. So the next step is to make a mount for this here lower control arm and to eventually fix the rust. We got two different bolt holes at different heights. I'm gonna make a tube coming off the frame and meeting up with the tube chassis, and then we'll have some tubes coming up to that tube. So those are the main tubes that are going to be holding that lower control mount in. Thanks, camera.
it looks really cool because you got one pretty much entire bend coming from the stock frame up to that bottom frame rail and then up to the top one. It's a cool swoop. So you can kind of see on this side how that looks. That's it for the night. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and finish those mounts. The lower control arm mounts are done. They're super beefy. They'll be way more metal, way more strong than we'll ever need, so that's awesome. Now it's time to do the plates for the top hats, and then we can bolt everything in. I'm realizing that a bend where I'm trying to make a bend on the strut tower, it's not gonna work. So scratch the bending and the notching that I just did. We're gonna use a straight pipe. Thick. Strut towers were about to be completed and then I ran out of metal. Well, actually that's not true. I have metal, but it's 1/4 of an inch not long enough, so I can't use it. The metal store is an hour away. Anyway, I've been fabricating all day, as you can tell. Literally been here for 11 hours and I'm exhausted, so tomorrow it's finished. I literally had like 6 tacks to do, and sure enough, I ran out of wire with the MIG welder. Went to the store and bought some more wire, but unfortunately, since this is a big machine, I didn't buy the right type. So we dragged the TIG welder as close as I could go. Everything's reaching, so I just have to do some tacks on that, and we can get to bolting in the motor. So that is the EJ205, the Subaru drivetrain, bolted into the tube chassis. I have to make the holes for the studs a little bit bigger. And unfortunately, the drill decided it didn't want to be a drill. But everything else lined up perfectly. The subframe, as you can tell right there, lower control arm mount, boom down there, boom down there. It is, it's perfectly centered in the frame. It's totally perfect. Perfect room for a big old intercooler. This is just so cool. I'm incredibly happy with how that looks. Look at that. That's so badass.
Just look at this. This is so awesome. We have an EJ205 and an all-wheel drive transmission and a front drivetrain bolted into a Miata with a custom tube chassis that, it's just, this is so awesome. This makes me so happy. This makes me so excited. It worked. It worked. There was like a 10% chance. I was like 90% confident that everything was gonna line up, and it did, so I'm so happy. The tube chassis is not currently supporting the weight of the engine. It's not all welded up, and there's some more support, some more bars that I want to add, so that's why that's like that. In the next video, the Rally Miata will be sitting on its own suspension with an EJ205 bolted into it. I promise. If you guys want to see that video right now, you can go head over to Patreon and become a patron. I really appreciate all the support I've been getting on Patreon and all the support I've been getting on YouTube about this build. You all seem to be really excited, just as I am, and it's so awesome. Another thing I want to say, if you want to support the build, support the channel, please, please, please consider sharing these videos to get them out to new viewers. We're building the world's first all-wheel drive EJ-powered Miata, and it's really awesome, and I wanted to get it out there to as many people, get a bunch of new viewers to the channel, and I need you guys' help for that. So please share the video if you want. Otherwise, like the video if you enjoyed, dislike the video if you did not, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Before we know it, we'll be doing all-wheel drive skids in a Miata. One thing I want to say, if you want to help this video series go well, another thing I want to ask for, if you guys please can, I don't know, I'm trying to word this. Pasha, don't put any of this in, all of my mess ups, okay? It's bad.